show y'all how I make my ninja meatballs. Yeah, baby. Here are the ingredients. You got your hamburger. I'm using my typical McCormick seasoning, the brown sugar, bourbon, and the hamburger. Got some minced onion. I've got two different types of barbecue sauce. I got the sweet onion and the brown sugar. And you can switch it up to any kind of barbecue sauce you like. I've used a honey barbecue and brown sugar together, or the honey and sweet onion. I just mix them up different ways depending on what I'm feeling like, kind of. Yeah. And I got some old-fashioned oats, and it's better to get the instant oats because they're smaller. So I'm going to have to take some of those and put them in a baggie and crush them up a little bit more so they aren't such big flakes. And then I've got my health seeds, my flax, chia, and hemp. These will be the ingredients, and I'll come back when I get them all in the bowl, or when I start to put them in the bowl. So, got my bowl here. Next is the breadcrumbs. I usually just get the Food Line brand of the breadcrumbs, or the generic brand. They're typically better than the name brand. Just put a bunch of that, and this just gives it a little bit of crunch when it starts baking. Add a little bit of my seeds in there, just because I like putting these seeds on everything. Just adding a little bit of nutrients where you can. Next is my two McCormick seasonings. I got the hamburger. When I'm doing the hamburger meat, I typically do more of the hamburger seasoning than I would the brown sugar bourbon. And it looks like a lot, but this is a lot of meat, and I want to make sure that all the meatballs are going to have seasoning. This is the brown sugar bourbon. And I'm sorry about I don't know how to tell you to measure this because I never measure it, okay? You just sprinkle it in. Let love guide you. This is the minced onion. I want to put a good bit of this. Now, if you like onions, you can chop up some onions and put them in there. But when you're cooking hamburger, the onions tend to make the meat, it tends to fall out of the meat when it starts cooking. So it's better to use the dried onions when you're cooking the hamburger. Now I'll just take my hands, and it's messy, I know, but it's better to use your hands for this because a spoon or a spatula is just not going to mush it into the meat like your hands would. So you're just kind of picking up all the seasoning and all the other ingredients and mixing it all together. You want to make sure there's no big chunks of oatmeal. I do have the instant oatmeal in the back, but my stuff, but I just don't want to open another can. I didn't mean to buy this can of the big oats, so I'm trying to finish this can out, and I'm forcing myself to use it. So there's that. Like I said, the instant oats are smaller and better for cooking in your meats. I also use that when I'm cooking my meatloaf too. I hadn't done a meatloaf video yet because I'm wanting my daughter to do it with me, because my girl, she's had me to teach her how to do meatloaf, and then we found a recipe online, and she makes a certain sauce for it, and oh my goodness, it is the best meatloaf you've ever tasted in your life. But I'm definitely going to get her to help me make the video. I've been waiting on her because I told her I'd do it with her. Alright, the next thing that you want to do is start forming some meatballs. Take you a little chunk at a time. This is about the size I make my meatballs. You can go smaller if you got more people to feed. Definitely make them smaller. And it'll go around, because these do cook down and they cook faster if you make them smaller. But you know, I make some baby meatballs and some mommy meatballs and some daddy meatballs, if you know what I'm saying. There's a few huge ones in there for daddy, a few medium-sized ones for mama, and a few smaller ones for the kids. That helps portion them out a little bit better. And all you do is just roll them in your hand. Get you a little chunk of meat, press it together, press it and roll it. I like that. Pause this right here until I get more meatballs made up, and then I'll bring you through to the next step. Okay, so before I start cooking my meatballs, I'm going to let the barbecue sauce be warming up in my Ninja. For this part, this is my meatballs here. Got them all rolled up, and I'm warming my pan. I'll bring you back in just a second when I get some going. I like to use this to flip it over. It's usually easier when I'm not looking through a phone. Sorry. Here's the first set of meatballs. After I cook them, I put them on a paper towel just so get some of the grease drained off of it, and then I will move them to the sauce. Okay, so I've already got the meatballs ready, and I'm putting them in the barbecue sauce. I've had this barbecue sauce heating up for about probably 10-15 minutes, just on the slow cooker on low. You'd be doing this if you did it on a burner. You'd be doing it on the warm setting or the low setting. If you're doing it in the oven, you'd probably only want to do it on about 250. You don't want to recook your meatballs. You're just heating up your sauce, like I said. And I'm sorry you can't see. And at this point, basically all you're doing is covering your meatballs with the barbecue sauce so we can let them soak. And if you like a lot of sauce, you can add more sauce if you want. To me, this is just enough because I don't like wasting barbecue sauce. And I haven't really thought of anything to do with the barbecue sauce after the meatballs are gone out of it. So there's that. I don't like wasting a bunch of meatballs. I mean a bunch of barbecue sauce. Starting on my next batch. Do these same way. Now I didn't record me doing the sides of these because I was listening to somebody's live that's very interesting. And you basically want to just keep flipping these until all the red meat is gone and it's not red anymore. So once you get the tops and the bottoms done, you just kind of try to stand them up on their sides to get the sides done where there's nothing red left on here. Now I did kind of cram this pan a little more full than the last pan. Poor planning on my part. I should have evened it out a little better.